Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beard Zone Sports Talk. My name is David. I got Carlos. I got Scooter with me. And before we jump into today's episode, we're going to be kind of breaking down. We did our predictions in the past about what teams are going to be the leaders of their division. Now we're going to be predicting stat wise which quarterback is going to be leading passing, which running back is going to be leading rushing, so on and so forth. And then we're going to end the episode with the big bang with our MVP prediction. So definitely don't want to miss this episode. Do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That is the best way to continue to support us here. We definitely appreciate you guys. Fellas, before we get into all of the craziness that is going to be what this episode is about, there was a couple of things that happened this week. One, AJ Terrell got paid, got the bag. I think it's well deserved. He's a solid corner, healthy, stays healthy. I mean, the Atlanta Falcons just continue to. I really don't like what's happening there in Atlanta because it's all good. And as a Tampa fan, I just don't like seeing it.
Well, their owner owns Home Depot, so they're doing work. They got to rebuild something other than homes, so they got to rebuild their organization. You sign Kirk Cousins, you got Kyle Pitts, you got Drake London, you got you got Bijan Robinson. Why not get your defense where it should have been when you could have had a Super Bowl? How about that?
28.
Now, as a Bucs fan, that sucks. Yeah, as a Bucs fan, that absolutely sucks, and you still will relive the 28-3. But you got to rebuild somehow, and you got to be able to fight with the Bucs in the South at least.
Yeah,
because we know it's not the Saints. If we've watched anything from the past season to the preseason, it's not the Saints. And let's be real, it's absolutely not the Panthers. Falcons are a big threat right now.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're just making the right moves right now. I mean, they get Judon, Simmons, sure up Terrell. He'll be playing happy with his new contract. So they're primed to dethrone the Buccaneers there.
Yeah, not this year though. Not this year. So, but hey, fellas, another kind of rumor in the NFL news. Bill Belichick. He wants to make a comeback next year. What team would he be perfect for? We all know it's not going to be the Dallas Cowboys because he wants some sort of GM role, right? Or say. That's Jerry Jones ain't going to take that. The Chargers were on there, but they just got a new head coach. Here's my question. What if Raheem just sucks? Like me and Scooter think he's going to. Because wasn't he on the list? Wasn't he on the short list last year for Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, I think he was, but I don't think him and the owner were. I mean, Bill's he's a big personality.
I would love to see Bill Belichick kind of swallow a little bit of pride and not go so hard in the GM category, but more or less be more of a talent prospect evaluator and let the GM do his job. Fire Todd Bowles and move on. Bill Belichick following Tom Brady's shoes come to Tampa Bay. Dying on that hill.
Bowles is on the hot seat. It's not me trying to be a hater here. The Bucs aren't going to win the division this year. The Falcons have just done too much, and I don't think they win it. So it puts him on the hot seat. But here's a kind of one that, I just don't know if Bill wants to go with a rookie quarterback, but Dabo and the Giants, man, I think this is it for him. But they'll have a high draft pick.
He has history with the Giants organization.
Yeah, he does. And it could be a fit.
That's history with the Browns.
I don't. I like.
I don't think Stefanski's on the hot seat though.
No.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. There's some guys that are big names that are on the hot seat this year. Sirianni with the Eagles is on it. If they don't win,
that's why.
That's weird though.
Even the Giants with
the Giants
is a good on the hot seat. He's not having a great. The article I read, if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers' 4 plays last year, and then Rodgers coming back, he would be gone. So I think there'd be some big spots for him to come back. But could he come back to Tampa and be like, well, let's see, is it Brady or is it Belichick?
Dude, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, because if he comes to Tampa and wins with Baker Mayfield, now the argument really is like, okay, was it Tom or was it Belichick?
Man,
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out if he does.
I'm okay as a Tampa fan either way because we are the beneficiaries on this either way. So yeah, but that's why I don't understand the whole Nick Sirianni thing. Like the guy went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. He's completely turned around that NFL or that Philadelphia organization. I get last year. I mean, the ending to last year was horrible, right? After their amazing start, they looked like the best team in the NFL there for the first 10 weeks. But man, I would be surprised unless they just suck this year, which I do not foresee the Philadelphia Eagles sucking this year. Should be interesting. But fellas, let's dive into it. We got so much to break down, and let's go ahead and kick off with who we think is going to be leading the NFL at the end of the year in passing yards. Because I know I have my guy, but Carlos, this one I'm ready to hear from you first on this one because
where it's going. There is no question.
I knew you were going to pick this guy.
The highest powered offense in the NFL, it's Tua. Tua's coming back. He's got the best offensive line he's had since he's been there. And I think this guy, man, I think he's going to hit the 5K mark this year. He's got
5?
Yeah. I mean, what doesn't he have?
Whoa.
He has a run game. He's got two running backs that you can throw a negative 1 yard pass to and take it to the house at any moment.
Yeah, but they also have a running game that they can get a lot of yards.
Yeah, Tyreek, Waddle, Berrios, even Rivercrest, and OBJ hasn't even stepped on the field yet. He may not, but there's nothing that he doesn't have, man. He's got A-Chain. If he has A-Chain for the whole year, I mean, man, just even a little shovel pass, who knows? So I think it's 2 again. He led it last year. Offense only gets better. It's another year. He's gotten paid. I think the Dolphins are primed for a run this year. Defense is pretty good. So I see Tua. I'm going with Tua again.
All right. Well, I'll go next really quick. I know Scooter. He's been itching for this because former Dave Chappelle just. But I'm going with the guy who kind of lit the league on fire last year. And I think that with the added weapons that they got this offseason and just him being in his second year now in the NFL, I think it's going to be CJ Stroud. I mean, the guy has so many weapons. Even if he just had Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and Dalton Schultz, right? I mean, like that's enough to, have a pretty good, option route for you. But then you add Stephon Diggs, then you add Joe Mixon, right, who can be a good out of the backfield catcher. And I just like CJ Stroud. I think he does all the right things. I think that he's the next up and coming, big name in the quarterback position. And I honestly think that the Texans are going to be a force this year in the AFC, a real threat. And it's hard because the AFC is so loaded. Like if CJ Stroud was in the NFC, oh my God. I mean, he would have a field day, but I mean, he's in the AFC. It's a high powered conference. But I think he steps up to the plate, man. I really do. I think that he's gonna be the guy at the end of the year that we're looking at and going, okay, this is the guy. So
good picks. Very good picks. However, Tua has to stay off the ground because if he hits the ground, he's probably going to die. If you look at the stats from last year and you paid attention to anything else, you would notice that the only 2 quarterbacks in the NFC that were worth anything in passing yards were, let me rephrase that, 3 were Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, in that order. If you look at the AFC, you have way more passing than you do. Think of it like more of a West Coast type feel. If I were to take just passing yards and touchdowns, in seeing the past draft, I would have to lean more towards Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow really didn't get to throw that much last year. He had an injured wrist. He's coming back. His delivery is looking a lot better. And I think he's got something to prove with him and Jamar Chase. He's also lost some running back ability thanks to Joe Mixon leaving. And
going to the Texans.
Exactly. But at the same token, you still got Zach Taylor at the head, right? So they made it to the Super Bowl with a second-year Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow healthy this year, coming back with some redemption, and then maybe Josh Allen as a close second in the passing category. Because you got both of those dudes who need to prove something, not just because of the contracts, but the timing of things, right? You got the Mahomes era. ESPN's already talking about Mahomes era. So what better two guys, other than Lamar Jackson probably in the AFC, to dethrone Mahomes is Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. Now, Joe Burrow is the only active quarterback that's ever beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So why not pick him as the passing leader? He's incredibly accurate. He can throw a deep ball. He's not that mobile. He's not that mobile when you got, Mahomes and Lamar and Dak and everyone else. So, and CJ. CJ's very mobile. I'll give you that one. And actually, Tua is kind of mobile. He just chooses not to. But I think Mahomes' biggest threat for the AFC is Joe Burrow, and that's why I want him as a passing leader.
I mean, that makes sense. It does. I'm not mad at it. But you did mention another position, and that was the running back position. So let's go into who we think our rush leader is going to be. Now, I thought long and hard about this, all for about 30 seconds. And then I was just like, yep, I'm good with this. And I chose Saquon Barkley. Okay. Listen. He's with the Philadelphia Eagles. They had the second best offensive line last year. Okay. The Giants, where he just recently came from, have not had an offensive line ranked above 18th since he's been in New York. And this guy has averaged, I think his lowest average per touch was 3.7 yards. That's pretty healthy. That's what you want. Anywhere between, about 4 to 5 yards. I mean, that's a good stat line to have as a running back. Now you put this guy behind, and on top of that, what weapons did the Giants have? Outside of Odell Beckham for, I think, the 1 year that Saquon was there in his rookie year. So Saquon was literally the threat. Their quarterback wasn't even the threat, right? Daniel Jones is, come on. Let's be real. Daniel Jones is not the guy.
Don't hate on Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes, not so much. But Saquon Barkley, he's looking sharp, man. He's looking healthy. He's behind a very solid offensive line, and he's in an offense that I think is going to benefit him. And first of all, he has a threat at quarterback, and he has two incredible threats at wide receiver. So all the eyes can't be on Saquon, and because all the eyes aren't going to be on Saquon Barkley, that's why I have him leading the league this year in rushing yards.
What you got, Scooter?
Saquon's a good choice since his quarterback was not Daniel Jones, it was Daniel Jokes. So when you look at the running back market, you look at all the trades, you look at all the shifting that happened this offseason and all the contract talks, Derrick Henry still looks like a pretty decent guy, even at 30 or so with the Ravens. You look at the shift with Saquon Barkley to the Eagles, that is very enticing. You look at Rachaad White with a little bit more beefy line than what we had last year, but we were still dead last. There's a huge mountain to climb in the rushing department there. However, the most consistent guy since Derrick Henry came in to the running back market is CMC, Christian McCaffrey. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. He's an MVP candidate. He's a all-around back. You want rushing. You want receiving. You want touchdowns. You want grit. You want everything in a back. Take him and just clone him. If you can add his genetics with Derrick Henry, there is no ifs, ands, or buts on who's getting the ball in the field. Let's be honest. If you got CMC on the field, if you're the 49ers, 50% of the plays are going to the guy. So you're going to get 1,000 yards. You're going to get 1,000 yards receiving, kind of. But you're going to get at least double-digit touchdowns in rushing, potentially even receiving. just the way the offense is built. I don't understand why there'd be anyone else than CMC on the mountain. You got Mahomes for quarterback. You got CMC now for running back.
Way to be unique there.
I'm just stating facts, man.
He led the league in rushing last year.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Saquon's injury prone too.
Hopefully the Madden curse doesn't get him though.
Okay, here Saquon does get hurt. Doesn't matter. Trent Williams isn't suited up, but I'm just going to go ahead and I'll let you guys know who's going to do it this year.
If you pick another Dolphins, I swear.
Raheem. I think
he's 40 years old running the ball.
I think it's Jonathan Taylor, man. He's healthy.
Ooh.
He's got a top 10 O-line. I think this guy gets back to form. I think he pushes the 2K mark. I think he's going to be it, man. This guy is he's primed, ready to go. There's no excuses why he hasn't. Last time he was healthy with a good O-line, he pushed the 2K mark. So I think even Richardson opens it up, that RPO stuff. Like you can't afford not to spy Richardson. So I think Taylor's back, man. I think he's got those nice fresh legs. As long as he can hold on to the ball, he's in good shape.
So you're saying that I made a good pick in our fantasy league?
Yes, I guess I told you would pick those two. If we were playing poker, I would have bankrupted you. You literally
at the end of the day, though,
in the order. You could at least win Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, and not Jonathan
at the end of the day, when you're picking last, you have to sometimes just reach a little bit, okay?
Wait, you picked Garrett Wilson before Jonathan Taylor?
Well, because
he should have, only because
it was coming right back around to me.
Yeah, it's a 10th pick.
So I had the last pick in the first round and the first pick, so it was like back to back. So I just click, you know.
And before we drafted, and I said, I already know what you're going to draft.
Yeah, he did. He said Garrett Wilson and Garrett Wilson.
I called his whole cards.
Yeah, but you didn't call this
predictable.
Right. Yeah, predictable, super predictable, Mister. Oh, you're talking about me because I said it. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Whoa. Nothing gets by me, you know that. So let's move on to the receiving, since we're talking about wide receiver. I think, you know what, Scooter, you haven't kicked us off with your leader at said stat. So who is going to lead the league? Who is going to lead the league next year in receiving yards and or catches? Let's do receiving yards.
CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb. He's the favorite target in Dallas. He's going to get paid this year. Let's be honest. They're not going to let that slide. You got to pay the man. And on top of that, he's been consistent. He's been very healthy. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to be a 1,000-yard wide receiver, and he's going to get multiple touchdowns. He's at least 2-digit touchdowns. Let's be honest here. You know, you got Jamar Chase, you got Justin Jefferson, you got Deebo Samuel, you name any wide receiver. Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, D-Hop's still technically in the conversation, but CeeDee Lamb has been consistently very good every season. And Dak Prescott can throw it within 1,000 millimeters of where he's at, and he's still going to catch it. You can throw it across, you can throw it deep, you can throw an out route, you can throw a slant, whatever you want. CeeDee's going to take the hit, or he's going to juke someone out of his shoes like we watch every Thanksgiving, and he's going to score a touchdown.
I mean, I'm not mad at that take because I do feel like, especially, I don't foresee him going into the year without getting paid. I think that we see a deal done, hopefully, within the next
It'd be really dumb if they don't.
Right. But if they don't, I definitely can see Dak force-feeding him, or just force-feeding him to help build up his argument to get the bag, for next offseason. So I'm not mad at the pick at all. I mean, I think CeeDee Lamb was my number one wide receiver for fantasy pick this year. As far as who I would take. Unfortunately, I couldn't take him. Carlos said that I would take Garrett Wilson, and I did. So, but speaking of Carlos, who do you have as the NFL?
And I tell you what, I went back.
He's going to pick a Miami Dolphin.
No, I went back and forth, and I think there's a sleeper guy out there that's going to be. He's going to push for that spot because his quarterback has a history of taking wide receivers to that number one spot with Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson, and that's Garrett Wilson. But let's be real here. We're coming back to earth. It's going to be Tyreek Hill, man, the cheetah. 17. His goal is 2K. He had it last year. 2 is going to throw for 5. Those yards got to go somewhere. I think he repeats. I think 2 and him repeat, man. And the reason I say it's an offensive-minded coach who's not afraid to throw 70 up on a team and leave the starters in and just say, hey, go throw for 700. Get 300 yards. And McDaniel's that guy. You guys seen him. He's definitely changed. And he's cocky, man. So I think it's cheetah. I think
2K, right?
Yeah, I mean, he wants 2K. He said last year that was the goal, and he's rolling into this year. He wants to hit the 2,000 mark. So it puts him in
201 yards short.
Yeah, it puts him in an elite class. I mean, that's not normal. Like it's
it's
so
not.
I think it's him again. But something tells me you're gonna see Garrett Wilson hanging around there for a little.
I had a feeling
that's pretty decent.
I had a feeling that you were going to go with Tyreek.
Well, I mean,
I'm not going to lie. I didn't see your pick, Scooter, but I like it. I didn't think you were going to go CD route just because you're not a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys.
He's very talented, and I can't deny that. So
hey, you can't deny it. I'm going to go with a guy who has had consistently good years ever since he's been in the league. He's only been in the league. I think he's coming into his 3rd year, maybe 4th year. No, definitely 3rd year. And this team is just doing this right now. They're just consistently doing this. And that guy is going to be none other than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that this guy, Jared Goff loves him. There's no doubt about that. He has 310 targets over the last 2 years, 225 catches. I mean, the guy is definitely Goff's go-to guy. And you said it earlier about CeeDee Lamb. You want to talk about a guy who just does not care? Like, he'll go over the middle. He'll take those shots over the middle. He's not afraid to take the big hits in order to sacrifice his body to get that catch. And Jared Goff knows it. They have a great connection. Ben Johnson is back for another year. And I don't know if he'll stick around for, following this year. I think that if they have another great year, like I predict them to be, or I predict them to have, I don't think Ben Johnson stays at a coordinator position. I think he goes into a head coaching role. So this is going to be a really fun year for the Detroit Lions and their offense. And yeah, man, I would love to see St. Brown up there as the number 1 guy ending this season, because I like him too. Like, he's just a really likable dude. Like, he's not one of those guys like that causes all the media drama and everything else like that, but he still has that cockiness about him, but he just kind of lets his game kind of speak for itself. So I like him a lot. But that's who I have.
He's a guy of character, man. If you watched anything on the Netflix series Wide Receiver, he is an absolute beast when it comes to discipline. And kudos to you, Dave, for picking him. And if he's not a top 5 wide receiver in 2024, I have no idea what's going on in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. So we talked about offense, right? But there's always a guy on defense, and that's the sack leader. And I want to know who you guys think that is going to be. Carlos, you like defense. You like that old school. You're an old school kind of guy. You like it when you have a good defense out there on the field. You like getting after the quarterback. You love seeing it. You don't like seeing Tua get hit, right? But anybody else, you like getting hit. So who do you see as being the guy who is going to cause the most headaches for quarterbacks this year?
I'm going with a guy he's a beast, man. I think he's going to have a good year. It's Myles Garrett. Guy is just a complete animal, and I think he's the best defensive lineman in football. But I think the Browns have a great defense, and I think you see a good year out of this guy. Puts up some high sack numbers.
I like that. Scooter, who you got?
Myles Garrett's biggest nemesis is T.J. Watt, but T.J. Watt's biggest nemesis is injuries. Mm-hmm. So I keep trying to lean towards another Watt brother. Myles Garrett, if I had to choose, oh man.
You want to circle back around?
If I had to choose anyone but Myles Garrett, just to pick somebody else and to be that contradictory guy, I would say Nick Bosa. Like,
I mean, that's not bad.
There's got to be defensive retribution for what happened in the Super Bowl and the blatant holding calls that happened. And I'm going to die on that hill. Floyds can fight me on this. I'll fight him in person. I don't care.
I love it.
He's one of my bros. I don't care. But you can't deny the fact that he got held almost every single play, and especially on the final drive when Mahomes threw the touchdown, Nick Bosa was being held like he was being detained by the police. It was ridiculous. And
that's an ironic statement that you just said.
So, no, but like, yeah. So, like, if you look at the 49ers organization, offensively, they need to produce. Defensively, you got Fred Warner, too. Like, you got to key on two major guys. Come on, man. Like, Nick Bosa is an absolute freak. If you're not picking Myles Garrett as a defensive leader, then I think Nick Bosa is probably your next best bet.
Hey, man, I like it. I'm going to go I'm going to stay on the West Coast, but I'm going to go with a guy who has been another trendy guy over the last couple of years. Been an absolute dominant presence on that defensive line. I think I know who it is. Out west, and that's Max Crosby. Max Crosby, I feel like, is going to have a very, very solid season. If you look at the way that this defense ran when their new head coach, gosh dang it, man, I'm drawing a blank.
Antonio Pierce.
Yes, and so Antonio Pierce, but when you see how that defense operated once Pierce took over, it's a different ball game, man. And Max Crosby has been an absolute game wrecker. And not on top of that, they added Christian Wilkins, who is going to eat up blockers for Max Crosby. So it's bound to happen to see Max Crosby one-on-one, and I like those odds all day long. Max Crosby against most NFL tackles right now, there's not a lot that can handle him one-on-one. And, yeah, man, I just like him, man. And I'm a big Max Crosby fan. And I do. I think Christian Wilkins was one of the sneakiest pickups this offseason for a team, because Christian Wilkins, I mean, Carlos, you can attest to this. He's a beast.
After, man.
You know, he's an absolute dominant presence there in the middle of that line, and to pair it with Max Crosby there off the edge, I think that they're going to cause a lot of teams and a lot of quarterbacks headaches. So give me Max Crosby to be the sack leader this year. I like him. I mean, he's gotten 27 sacks over the last 2 seasons, so why not?
Did you see the report that they had to bring him off the field because the offense couldn't run?
No.
Minshew couldn't get throws off in live play, so they had to bench him.
Okay.
So they could go through progressions. Like, he was eating the offensive lineman up so badly. The guy, I watched the preseason game with him in it with the Cowboys, and it was just like, this guy is going to kill it this year.
Crosby, dude, Crosby brings that Raiders attitude.
Yes.
He fits that organization perfectly, and I think Antonio Pierce was like, thank you, Jesus. I appreciate everything that you've done so far. Max Crosby, do whatever you do.
Yeah. You ever look at him and just like, that's just a normal looking guy. Like, he's not bulging biceps.
He's just super tatted up.
He is. Like, there's no like big chest, like nothing. He's just like, that's my neighbor. Like,
yeah.
What tattoo?
He mows his lawn on Tuesdays. Like,
what happened?
Yeah. This guy, though, man, I don't know where he gets that freaky strength and stuff, but yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to our rookie of the years. We're going to go with offensive rookie of the year, and I'm going to make this quick because I absolutely hate this. So it's just going to be a Band-Aid pull, but this guy has no mother-loving excuse not to be rookie of the year. So I'm going to say Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams should be rookie of the year. I'm calling it. The way that he's been playing in preseason has been very good. I got to give credit where credit is due. And he has no excuse, Scooter. He has no excuse. Okay? That's why I'm picking him. Because I was looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know about Kyler. I was looking at Malik Neighbors. Yeah, right. Not with Daniel Jones. You know, and I was just trying to find someone. I was looking at the other quarterbacks. Maybe Jaden Daniels. I kind of like Jaden. But it's just like Caleb Williams has literally no excuse not to be offensive rookie of the year. And so I'm just going to call it how it should be said. And I'm going to say that, and I'm done. I need to go and brush my teeth now because that was disgusting to say. But it's over. It's done. I did it. I put on my brave face. Let's move forward.
Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Okay. There you go. Ooh, Sava. Ooh, Sava. Hey, man, you're right. It's Caleb Williams. 4K this year. I'm going to call 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He runs in 6 or 7. It's Caleb. I don't know any other person. Marvin Harrison's going to push him, but I think he has a great year. But man, the stars are going to align there. How can he not? You're 100% right. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Dunze is looking awesome. He's got Swift in the backfield who can catch. The offensive line's adequate enough. Dude, I don't know how he.
Don't forget that's a solid tight end.
Yeah. So I don't know how he's not. I mean, this was probably this one took me about 2 seconds to write down.
It took me a lot longer. I will say that.
Are you guys still talking?
Have you seen
the tinnitus in my ears still ringing from all the garbage that y'all just talked? Yeah, still ringing. Okay, so when's the last time the Bears threw for 4,000 yards?
Never.
2024.
Exactly. If y'all.
But he doesn't have to throw for 4,000 to win offensive player.
No, you just have to breathe air and paint your nails, apparently. So if you watch the preseason, yes, he looks good, blah, 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 blah. So does Bo Nix, and he's basically 40 already. So, come on. And you got Sean Payton as your head coach. You got the Bears, dude. They're still going to choke. At the end of the day, they still turn the ball over, and they still choke. You look at any of their quarterbacks. Any of them, and they suck. At the end of the day, it's an organizational thing. You can put Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald on the freaking field, and they're still gonna suck. They're gonna get owned by Jordan Love and the Packers like they have since I've been alive. And then you're gonna see the Detroit Lions just come over there like they're Bill Cosby and just own them. Okay? Let's be real. If you're going to have a rookie, their name's either going to be Xavier Worthy or Bo Nix or Keon Coleman from offense. Let's be honest. Okay, so main wide receiver for the Bills is Keon Coleman.
Wait a minute.
Bo Nix is going to own the offense. He's looking incredibly good. Look at how he's delivering the ball. Xavier Worthy is going to be the deep ball threat, and he's going to just outrun everybody. Mahomes is going to run around for 45 seconds in the backfield and then be like, oh no, behind the back, over the head, underneath his legs, upside down, roller coaster, whatever. He's going to throw it down the field. Xavier Worthy's going to be like, oh, look, I'm open. And then you got Keon Coleman, huge guy replacing Stephon Diggs. His route running may not be as clean, but he's going to get some space and he's going to catch the ball. I know as a Miami fan, Carlos, you hate hearing another FSU guy coming up on the conversation. But he owned y'all. So
the only thing I heard was Caleb Williams.
No. He can paint his nails and see his way out of the NFL.
I don't
think it's Caleb.
I don't think Scooter likes Caleb Williams.
I don't think it's him. He does not have the maturity to be a rookie MVP. And if he is, it's because the NFL has crawled so far up his jockstrap that they can't go any further.
Roger, that was Scooter said that. I didn't say that, Roger.
I don't care.
I think
sue me. I don't give a shit.
Scooter, I think that you just went longer making your case why Caleb Williams isn't going to win than you actually case.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Okay, so when he played actual talent, he choked in the NCAA. When you play actual talent in the NFL, you get murdered.
Scooter, I'm with you. You know that I'm with you. I don't like him either, but I have to just say it, man. I just have to say it. What else?
It's the Bears. He's gonna suck. It's okay. Just admit it, Dave.
Scooter, I was hanging out with David the other day, and he did have a Bears jersey on.
Gosh, okay, David. Let's just move forward. I'm pretty sure Scooter is gonna have an aneurysm. I'm almost positive.
Where did that vein come from?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm almost positive that I think I started seeing a vein. He's looking like Tua after he hits his head off.
Bro, it's too much. Come on now.
There's not enough liquor to lose that many brain cells to vote for Caleb for MVP. I'm sorry. Or not MVP, but Rookie of the Year.
All right, okay. Let's go to the easy one here.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Just say it.
I'm just gonna say it. It's Jared Verse. I know that Dallas Turner is the favorite right now to win it. He slipped down in the first round. He has a chip on his shoulder. I understand. I think that he's going to have a great career and great year there in Minnesota. But Jared Verse is a physical freak, and his new defensive coordinator, Chris Shula, was the LA Rams. So he's been with LA since 2017, and he was the Rams rush coordinator for them last year. So I think that that's going to help Jared Verse, just utilize him to the best of his ability. He's a guy that can move all over the line, and yeah, man, I like Jared Verse a lot. I think he's going to be a problem for offensive this year. I really do.
I had him on my, I was bouncing back and forth between him and Turner, and then I realized he has to go against Trent Williams twice, and I don't know. We'll see how he survives the first meeting, but I'm going Turner, man. Guys on AstroTurf, freak his first step, and just it's the turf that gets it, man. I don't think he has a ton of sacks. I think he's going to be in that 10 to 11 range, but I think he's my guy.
I'm really surprised you didn't go Chop Robinson. I know he's got a lot kind of going against him.
Tristan Wirth paid him a big compliment because they're in Tampa doing combined practice.
He's quick, man. And Jared Verse, after watching some of that, I would think Verse is more favorited than Turner, but I still lean towards Turner. I just, after watching some of his technique and everything else, it's looking a lot like Myles Garrett. Ish. Not like him completely, but ish. And I think Turner has more to show now that the Vikings need to kind of show out in order to win their division or win a wild card at all. That's just how I'm leaning. I think Turner's the defensive rookie.
I'm not mad at it. At all. So, fellas, now is the time that the listeners and you, the anticipation, and I'm not gonna have you guys wait too much longer, but I do want to hear your guys' take. This is all fresh. Just FYI for all of our viewers. We have no idea who the MVP choices are for each one of us. We kept it as a surprise because we want real live reactions to react to you guys. And I'm just going to be honest. I wrote a speech, and I'm going to deliver this speech for my guy because I am pumped. But I'm ready to listen to you guys. No, don't do that. Gosh, man. But I want to hear you guys first.
Yes, get the last word.
Oh my God.
I think we should just save the best for last, all right? So I don't care who takes it. Scooter, Carlos, however you feel. Let me hear your prediction for this year's MVP candidate.
Contrary to popular belief, I'm not going to say Tua. I want to, for good karma reasons, but I'm not going to say Tua. I'm going to go with a guy I think he bounces back this year. He had a rough year last year, and their season did not end well. But I think he gets back to some 2002 form. He's got some new weapons. He just got a brand new one and wide receiver 3 yesterday. I think it's Jalen Hurts, man. He was second in 2002 in MVP voting behind Mahomes. I think his rushing game comes back. He's up. He's over 700 yards the last 2 years. In 2022, he had a combined 35 touchdowns with rushing and throwing. So I think he gets back to form, man. He's got weapons. He's got Brown, Goddard, Swift. He's got Dotson now. Freaking Saquon there that I think actually opens it up for him, and the O-line's still good. So I think Jalen comes. I think he's a surprise. I think he's got a shot at this thing, man. I think he gets back to where he needs to be. And trust me, I don't want to pick him. He's an Eagle.
I did not expect you to say him.
Same.
I'm not gonna lie though. I was more worried about who I thought you were gonna say when you started off your speech.
Who was it? Who'd you think?
I thought you were gonna go with Aaron Rodgers with the way that you started
him.
that.
I hope
with the way that
wheelchair-bound Rodgers needs to go home.
I don't want him to get hurt only for the reason of fantasy football and Garrett Wilson's my keeper. But if Garrett Wilson wasn't my keeper in my main league, he can go. I'll give him 5 plays this year, then he could tear the other Achilles up. But I need him to stay healthy because I need my championship belt back for a fantasy.
Hey, you
football.
also want Phillips back on the defensive line, and he did the old Aaron Rodgers trick too. So you want good.
Yeah, I don't want no bad karma. But no Aaron Rodgers.
I thought, man, because you were like, this guy he didn't have the
year
like
Ricky
you
Bobby.
wanted to last year, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
No, are you kidding me? I would lose my Dolphin card first of all.
That's why I was shocked.
No Jet. I don't care.
I'm happy that you didn't do that.
Me too. I'm a little upset right now. I gotta calm down.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're looking like Scooter now after the Caleb speech. Yeah.
Blending in with the jersey.
Oh, man.
So for MVP,
who you got?
I bounced around a few guys, and I'm trying to not say Mahomes. I'm trying to not say Lamar still has a heck of a team. Stroud had a run last year. Dak, I don't think he sees MVP. I just don't. He can put up all the stats in the world, and he still didn't get it last year. I think he was arguably better than Lamar Jackson. And that it was very shocking to see Lamar win it over Dak actually last year, and I think that's just because the NFL doesn't like the Cowboys. If I had to choose, it'd be between 3 people: CMC, Brock Purdy, or Josh Allen. Strictly because Josh Allen is an absolute force on the field, regardless of who he has in wide receiver. He's like Gronkowski throwing the ball. It takes like 6 dudes to tackle him, and he's a quarterback. And he's got an arm that can throw into the outer rim of our universe. Brock Purdy's just incredibly accurate, and he has like 2 off games, and you're like, okay, maybe he's not that good. And then all of a sudden he runs into the Super Bowl. You're like, okay, he's really that good. CMC is just a total package at running back. I mean, I gotta show some love to the Bills. They've bought into Josh Allen. They've bought into the entire product, and he's changed the way he's played. He scores touchdowns, whether you like him or not. He's gonna get 30 touchdowns a year, whether it's running, passing, combo. And I'm gonna get so much in the comments for this, but Josh Allen, if he does not turn the ball over as much, and he doesn't decide to throw into Cleveland because he's just throwing too hard, he's going to throw across Lake Erie and just throw a touchdown, or he's going to throw an interception. If he doesn't turn the ball over, I think he wins MVP.
I could see that. I could see him. He's going to take that team, put it on his shoulders.
And he has every year.
Could he be a 4,000-yard guy and a 1,000-yard rusher in the same season? Is that even...
That would Josh be Allen? Some Heisman level stuff, man.
He's going to run.
It's not.
He's going to run, and he can run.
It's a good question, because he
be
does.
A 4-1
isn't he
guy.
like the team leader too?
And everything. Yeah. He might have to throw the ball to himself, which I mean.
He's going to pull a Mariota. He's going to throw
it to himself. Remember when Mariota did that? I was like.
He'll just throw it into the defender's helmet. It'll bounce back. He'll catch it and run for a touchdown.
He's going to give the player a concussion, though, man.
He's like, hey, ref, turn around really quick. Boom.
I'm going to get fined $15K for this, whatever.
He's going to be Mr. Do-It-All for sure.
He is.
Until the Bills actually, compliment him outside of James Cook and maybe Keon Coleman, he's going to have to be that guy. That's what Lamar has done for the Ravens, and I think it just goes for the Bills. As much as I would love to see someone in the NFC win it, that's just how I see it right now.
I'm ready for the speech.
All right.
Let me just have say Caleb Williamson walking off right now.
You're not going to walk off. You probably will walk off still, but just let me just get through this, all right? Because I'm about to let you guys know something really quick, all right? Listen up, because I'm about to drop some knowledge that might just blow your mind. Jared Goff for NFL MVP. Yeah, you heard me right. Jared freaking Goff. And before you roll your eyes, let me break it down for you. Because this isn't just wishful thinking, this is destiny in the making. First off, let's rewind to last season. Goff led the Detroit Lions. Yes, that Detroit Lions that used to be the league's punchline. He led them all the way to the NFC Championship game. And he didn't just limp his way there. No, he swaggered his way to over 4,500 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and he was like playing Madden on rookie mode. This man was electric, making defenses look like they were stuck in slow motion. And here's the kicker. The NFL loves its MVP quarterbacks. In fact, out of the last 15 MVPs, 14 of them have been quarterbacks, but not just any quarterbacks. These guys were leading their teams to top seeds in their said conference. So now imagine Jared Goff leading the Detroit Lions to a top seed in the NFC this season with Ben Johnson back at the helm of the offense, calling plays like a mad genius. Oh, and Jared Goff surrounded by the arsenal of weapons. The Lions are set to be a force to reckon with. And to add that in, the best offensive line in the NFL, you've got yourself a perfect matchup to have Jared Goff put the league on notice. So yeah, you might think it's wild to say Goff could be the MVP, but let me tell you, this is the moment where the stars align and Goff takes his place among the elite. Jared Goff, MVP. It's not a possibility. It's a prophecy. Mark my words, gentlemen. Mark my words.
You know, there's a part of me that can't hate that pick because he did have a really good year last year, and I can't see why he wouldn't again, especially if Jameson Williams can stay on the field. Yeah, can't hate you on that one.
It's time. It's time for the Lions. It's been so long.
Speaking of organizational stuff, though, like Scooter said with the Bears, I'm going to do a prophecy, and they say they get bounced first playoff game. They're going to cowboy this thing up,
dude.
But the cowboy up there.
Oh, no. God. No.
But I mean, really, but to be in all seriousness, like I said earlier, this has been Johnson's last ride with the Detroit Lions. I don't foresee him coming back another year as a coordinator. He's got to get off head coach position. Even if they don't get like the same outcome as last year, you know, I feel like that he's still a top candidate because of just everything that he's been able to do there in Detroit. And I mean, let's be honest, man, Jared Goff, he looked really good last year. And I mean, the fact that he was able to he kind of got thrown into a really crappy situation with the Detroit Lions to begin with, you know, getting traded from LA, you know, to Detroit, and then watching Matthew Stafford take his former team to the Super Bowl the very next year. I mean, Jared Goff, I think, and let's not forget, Jared Goff has been to the Super Bowl before. So, and he was 30 minutes away from, you know, going back there again. So I like Jared Goff as the MVP. I mean, I do. I would love to see that just because I think that this is going to be a year where the Lions really, I mean, I know that last year it's hard to top last year because of how far they went, but I'm smelling Super Bowl for this team this year.
I would say that it boils down with Jared Goff in the fourth quarter. He cannot turn the ball over. He has to remain accurate, and if they can keep that offense moving, I mean, Dan Campbell's done a heck of a job on that defense. Let's be honest here. Where Jared Goff's going to come into play is his accuracy. Hands down. He can put up all the yards he wants, but he's got to keep that completion percentage up in order to keep them moving forward. And yeah, MVP-wise, I could see that. I think he was like third in passing last year.
Yeah, I hope you're right because
second, maybe.
He falls far in fantasy drafts, and boy, that's a late nice pickup, man. Just for fantasy football guys. There you go.
If you are a fantasy guy,
top 5 pick, get Amon St. Brown, and then around the 11th round, Jared Goff will be waiting on you down there.
Dude, you might be able to even get Laporta like 3rd or 4th round.
Oh my God.
Could you
That's
imagine?
what I had last year in my fan. I had Laporta and St. Brown, man. St. Brown is money. No, I couldn't get him, but I mean, the problem with Goff is just doesn't have any rushing yards. But hey, it's a late quarterback to stack up the rest. So fantasy football stuff for later.
Fantasy football for later. Speaking of later, kind of to rewind a little bit. First of all, we appreciate you guys for rocking with us and getting this far into the episode. It definitely helps us out, as far as getting us into the algorithm and everything like that. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But sorry about last week. It was a little bit of a hiccup, a little bit of a mess up on my end. Had some stuff come up, wasn't able to get the edit out. We did record, but just wasn't able to get it out by the time that I was ready to. Some other preseason games have already happened, so I just decided it's better to wait, let this episode roll. But starting in 2 weeks, so you got this episode today, which is Friday, right? And then next week, we're going to be doing another episode for Friday, kind of leading in. But starting the following week, we're going to go to our new schedule. The new schedule is going to be, we're going to be releasing that Thursday to do a to do like a pre-game kind of warm-up to the season kickoff. Man, that's a heck of a kickoff for the NFL season. The Chiefs and the Ravens.
And even Friday's game with the Jets and I don't know why. Packers, sorry. Thinking Aaron Rodgers, so.
Packers and Eagles down. Is it in like Brazil or something?
No. Brazil's in turmoil.
I hope not.
No. They may not come back.
Where
I
is it?
I believe it's in Green Bay. I think it's a home game. Yeah, it's a home game for Green Bay.
Hold on. Really?
Yeah, why would they play it anywhere else?
I'm just surprised you guys are skipping over this Saturday.
What's this Saturday, Scooter?
I don't know. FSU and Georgia Tech playing in Ireland.
Are they really? Definitely.
Wow. Shows how much you guys truly care about football. The first game, college football, is Saturday. The Seminoles versus the Jackets. Yellow Jackets.
Seminoles will take care of business.
God, I hope they roll through that. So easy.
Yeah, mine is the 31st, Miami versus Florida. Ooh, can't wait to.
I honestly think Miami has the edge there. Florida has been rocking Kool-Aid since 08, 09. And I'm sorry, but I don't think they have the team. Really don't.
Yeah,
Miami needs to come back to the early 2000s form, though. Bring the swag.
They got a good team with you.
They're playing in Brazil.
Yeah. I just saw it. I didn't win.
Wait, Aaron Rodgers in Brazil.
This can't be not good.
No, it's Packers.
It's the Packers.
Okay. Yeah. It's Eagles.
Let's say if Aaron Rodgers is in Brazil, he's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
He's getting detained or he's lost in the Amazon.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to be starting that new schedule starting that week. So you'll be getting an episode on Thursday, and then you'll also be getting episodes. I believe we have it set up to where we're having an episode on Tuesday and Wednesday. So you're going to get like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from us. So going to be a busy year this year, but it's going to be awesome. And we want to have you guys rocking with us the entire way. So we definitely appreciate you guys for listening in. So just an FYI, just so that way you guys kind of know what is coming up. But fellas, as always, it's been a fantastic week. I love doing this with you guys. And this football season is going to be something special. And I'm definitely excited for it. But we appreciate you guys. Tell us down in the comments who you think is going to be, what stat wise, who's going to be the leader in, passing, who's your MVP choice. All right. For all you Patrick Mahomes commenters, stay out. All right. We already know that he's the odds favorite. We don't need that. All right. Just get out of here. All right. So, but anyway, let us know who you guys think are going to be your offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Let us know down there in the comments. We'd love to engage with you guys. Like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And until next week,
Beard Zone out.